What's up, guys? My name is Mykee. I'm one half of the Kicks, Vibes, and Life Sneaker podcast, and welcome to the very first episode of the current rotation. The current rotation is a new segment on the channel where we break down the shoes that we've been wearing a lot lately. We'll also be giving you info about them, where to find them, why we like them, and great alternate options as well. Bit of a disclaimer though, footage for this first episode was filmed over a long period of time due to quarantines and restrictions on non-essential travel. So basically, I haven't been going out a lot. And even though the quarantines have eased up, there's still no reason to just be out and about like there's no pandemic going on. So if you do need to go out, please do take necessary precautions. Mask up, keep your hands clean, and practice social distancing as much as you can. With that, let's dive into the current rotation, starting with the white cement Air Jordan 4. First released in 1989, the Air Jordan 4 is Tinker Hatfield's follow-up to his legendary Air Jordan 3 design. It carried over the mid-cut and the visible air of its predecessor, but introduced a couple of signature design features such as the side netting and a lacing system that featured the iconic support wings. The white cement colorway is one of 4 colorways that dropped in the shoe's original run, and the pair I have is from the 2016 retro release, marking the third and most recent time the shoes came back to stores. The Jordan 4 is one of those shoes from the signature Air Jordan line that seamlessly makes the transition from the court to the street. The white cement colorway keeps things simple and allows them to easily be worked into a lot of different kinds of fits. Since it's been 4 years since these came out, if you're looking to pick up the same pair, the resale market is your best bet. There are a number of Air Jordan 4s still on sale in non-original colorways on sites like Titan, but if you're looking for something more OG, try waiting a month or so for the return of the fire red Air Jordan 4 on Black Friday. Moving on to the next pair in the current rotation, we have a silhouette that was billed by many sneaker media outlets as 2019 Sneaker of the Year, the Nike x Sacai LDWaffle. Following its debut on the runway of Paris Fashion Week, the collaborative offering between Nike and Japanese luxury fashion brand Sacai piqued the interests of both fashion fans and sneakerheads alike. Playing on a theme of duality, the shoe is a mashup of 2 Nike heritage running silhouettes, namely the LDV and the Daybreak, complete with double tongues, double laces, double swooshes, and the distinctive double-stacked midsoles. The pair seen here is the Wolf Grey and Summit White colorway. Despite the lack of cutting-edge technology, I'd say they're pretty comfortable. And the design features I mentioned earlier make even a predominantly neutral-colored shoe stand out in some way. When I think about it, it's pretty cool how looking back at the past charts a course for the future, which you can see in some of Nike's new shoe offerings. These came out last year and moved pretty quickly due to huge fanfare, so if you want the same pair, the resale market really is your best bet. However, there are lots of options if you're looking for something on the same wavelength. You could go the classic route with shoes like the Nike Tailwind or the Daybreak, or something that's a more obvious nod to the styling of the LDWaffle, such as the Nike Zoom type. Either way, you can't really go wrong. Next up in the current rotation is a literal classic, the Reebok Club C 85. Back in the 80s, tennis continued to boom, and so did the demand for tennis footwear. It was during this period where brands were making shoes with different materials and cuts, with the point of consistency being that the styling had to be kept clean. Known back then as the Reebok Club Champion, the shoe was initially launched to fill a need for club-level tennis players who needed a shoe that would last long and look good at the same time. Despite a few tweaks here and there, the Reebok Club C still banks on what made it a hit back then. Leather build, simple branding, tasteful hits of color, all the things you want from a classic tennis shoe. But what amazes me though is the Club C never really had a moment the way a shoe like the Adidas Stan Smith has. It just stayed cool and relevant all this time for fashion editors, sneaker fans, and people who just like nice, simple shoes. The Reebok Club C 85 is pretty widely available, and sometimes they even go on sale. Check with stores like Soul Academy and Zalora to find yours. In terms of alternatives, other models in the Reebok tennis archive such as the Revenge will do nicely, or you could also go with the Adidas Stan Smith. Rounding out this episode of the current rotation is a fairly new shoe to release under a classic Nike line, the Nike ACG React Terra Gobe. For those who might not know, Nike ACG is a line that debuted in the late 80s as a way to bring technological innovation in sports to the outdoors through shoes and apparel that would withstand vast weather conditions such as rain, wind, and snow. The ACG stands for All Conditions Gear, and all conditions means all conditions. ACG is typically rugged, functional, and brightly colored. The line was discontinued in the mid-90s, but was brought back in 2014 under acronyms Errol's and Hugh. His creative guidance shifted the line into a more tech-wear vibe, but since bowing out in 2018, Nike ACG now more or less marries the styling cues of its roots and the directions and emphasis on functionality made by the man whose brand is probably the benchmark for cool technical gear. The Nike ACG React Terra Gobe is a shoe that first came out last year. Primarily made for trails, the sneaker blends Nike's super comfy React foam with a light, water-resistant upper. It's kind of retro, kind of modern, and very, very functional. I got them in the black and space purple colorway, which is pretty low-key compared to a lot of the other ACG offerings. So far, the React foam feels great underfoot, and hopefully won't bottom out anytime soon. The addition of rubber patches on the outsole literally adds layers of durability, whether you're out on the trails or out in the city. You can find these and other colorways available online through stores such as Commonwealth, Shelf Life, and the Nike PH online store. Some are even on sale too. If you're not feeling them but want something similar, check out other offerings from the Nike ACG line, such as the Zoom AO or the ACG Air Wildwood. If you're looking for something for all-day comfort that holds up against the elements, I would say to consider looking at something from Nike ACG. And that's it for this episode of the current rotation. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this episode and want to see more, do hit like and subscribe to the Kicks, Vibes, and Life channel. And don't forget to ring the notification bell to stay updated on all the content we'll be releasing, whether that's the current rotation, Footnotes, which is our news, history, and info segment, and of course, our namesake podcast. Should my rotation be a little more diverse? Let me know, and tell me what you guys have been wearing lately in the comments below. Once again, my name is Mykee. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.